It's your man Jay Graves Report. Y'all know I gotta go in on this whole college football playoff. I'm sick and tired of hearing these duns on TV and the radio try to tell me and everybody watching that the polls don't count. Every time you hear one of these duns talk, they say, well, the polls don't count because you got a 13-man committee or 13-person committee that's going to determine or evaluate where these boys are going to be. Let's keep this real, player. In order to have a somewhere to determine where we start, you got to have a baseline. You know, my background in science tells me that in order to do clinical studies, you always got to have a baseline, bruh. You got to have somewhere to start. So these guys aren't going to just pick up 120 teams and shuffle them around and figure out who's who and what's what. They're going to look at the doggone polls to see where boys are. When you look at the polls today, you got Mississippi State #1. You got Florida State at 2. Ole Miss 3. Baylor 4. And then Notre Dame. They're looking at who guys played and when and why. So when you look at Mississippi State is beating #8 LSU. They beat #6 Texas A&M. They beat #2 Auburn, so on and so forth. They gotta have a baseline to play with. So don't keep lying to folk and tell them that they're not gonna look at the polls, because the polls make a difference. Because that's the only way they're gonna determine who's who and what's what. You know, how in the world do you justify putting Ole Miss at #3 when Ole Miss, out of the 6 games they played, they've only played 2 ball games, bruh? And Notre Dame has played a harder schedule and will play a more difficult schedule over the course of time. I know it's still the second week of October, bruh, but don't tell me that the polls don't count, because the polls do count. Because that's the only way that you're going to be able to determine where we start. Come on, man. Hey, I'm just saying, don't lie to me. Don't lie to all the folks out here listening. Just say, hey, the polls will make a difference, because you know doggone well Condoleezza Rice and all these guys that's on this doggone committee are looking to see what, man, you know, Mississippi State beat Auburn and they beat so-and-so. Man, they would rank this. Come on. So it makes a difference. Stop lying to folks. It is what it is, and it's going to be dull at the end of the season, like I said at the beginning, because it's still subjective. You got boys voting. It's 120 teams in college football. There's no way you can have a legitimate playoff because everybody's trying to compare it to the NFL. Keep this real, player. In the NFL, there are only 32 teams, and 12 of them get to go to the doggone playoffs. There are 120 teams in college football. There are probably 5 different levels of play in college football based on big time college football, you know, the 5 power conferences. Then you got all the duns like the MAC, the freaking WAC, the Mountain West, etc. They don't play at the same level. So in order, if you're gonna make it like the NFL, then you got to make Division I college football 32 teams. If you don't make it 32 teams, and you can't do that simply because you're going to kill all the pageantry and the tradition of college football. So stop trying to make it like the NFL, because it'll never be like the NFL unless you destroy it, build it back up, and only have 32 teams. I'm just saying, I'm the only one that's going to keep it real with you, so we're going to listen to it. It's your man Jay Graves Report from the JayGravesReport.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at JayGravesReport so you can holler at your boy.